All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing? So, let me get some background music in this. That way I'm not sitting here in silence. Okay. So, PPI came in worse, or what was it, better than expected? Whatever it is. Market's down on it. So, SPY down 0.34%. Right. We had this support, kept holding that low. We're below it here in pre-market. So next level below is going to be these two resistances, right? 443.9 and 444.3. If these can't hold, I'm cutting both of those longs, especially on Tesla. Amazon's more for today. Setup looks fine still. Just needs to reclaim and hold here. Right, if SPY and QQQ can hold those bottoms, which we're sitting right here. Let's see, let's go back a bit. Support, resistance, resistance. So it could potentially act as a support here. So we'll see what happens with these, but setups look solid to the both sides, right? If this holds, we can easily go long and play another bounce back up, or if this rejects and we break through, right, we have a gap to fill to the downside. So both sides, solid risk to reward. Should see a solid move at open. Right, so Amazon, higher lows, lower highs, took an entry around here yesterday for a swing. Opening to the downside here. Nothing we can really do, right? That's what happens when you take a swing trade. Tesla, right, down 1.2%, sitting at the lows here. Just needs to hold that 240.85 level, which is its previous support. If it does, it's fine. Google, all right, higher lows, lower highs, still in this wedge. So again, everything's weak though, so we easily could play puts to the downside on pretty much anything. If SPY and QQQ break down, right, everything's going to relate back to SPY and QQQ if that breaks down or not. But Google, overall solid setup, right? Pretty clean setup. Netflix is also still within this wedge, higher lows, lower highs, but it's sitting here at the bottom. If it breaks 426.56, it should see continued downside. Let's see. Microsoft looks weak, hasn't been able to break out at all. Going to avoid that for now. Here's Meta, right? We have these higher lows, lower highs. We had that triple bottom here that we tried to break through but rejected again. We can easily take a short here through 301.77. I'm going to set an alert just in case, and we'll keep an eye on it. Nvidia, right, kind of has this flag into this previous resistance, previous support. But again, everything's weak here, down 1.5% pre-market, so everything might be breaking down today. We'll see. BABA down 2.4%, right at that opening range. AMD, no, too choppy for me. Apple, we could actually look for puts today. I really like this setup. Right, clean support. I'm going to move this up a bit. And we will keep an eye on this. If this starts to break down, we can, start to see a solid runoff again. So we'll watch that. Coin, not really watching this anymore, right? This has just been overall downtrending. We need to wait for this to pop. So alert set back at that resistance that we needed around 87 or 88, let's say. Square breaking down, setup's not there. We could watch shop. We could watch shop to the downside for continuation. Right, this previous support acted as support, and it's sitting right here at the lows again. SPY long again, sure. Right, so we have these previous resistances. Let me remove this. Right, so this previous resistance acted as resistance, so it could act as a potential support. A classic move today would be, right, we dip down, we test that, and then we launch back up and move to the upside. Right, that would be a classic liquidity grab and a huge fake out below this big support that we've had here. So we'll see. Right, it would be so classic for that to happen. That's really everything. So top setups at open are going to be SPY and QQQ. More SPY than QQQ. I like this setup a little bit better. It's a little bit cleaner. Let me remove this so it gets in the way. So more SPY. Amazon, obviously, and Tesla, since I'm already in that. Might have to cut those, so we'll see. Tesla's not till next week. So as long as this setup holds this low, it's still valid. But Amazon, what do I have? 139, I think. Let's see, Amazon, yeah, 139 calls. So, I mean, just need a slight move up. So if SPY and QQQ can hold here, play still valid. Okay. You want me to go over Adobe? Sure. So Adobe, been respecting that trend line, sitting here at the lows again. Right, previous resistance acted as support, and we're sitting right here in pre-market. So if this can't hold, it's going to drop down. Snow. Whoops. Snow just been downtrending also. Right now it's kind of sitting here at the lows. Next support I would say is around 143. Or even 150. 150 definitely psychological level. Also this previous resistance here. Yep. I know a lot of people were looking at WeWork. I'm pretty sure it's up in pre-market. It's up 16%. I know Father alerted it. But I would never play this, but to you if you want to play that. What's IWM doing? Still wedging. IWM has this previous resistance here that could potentially act as a support. What am I looking at for Tesla? Well, I want to see it hold. Let me remove these alerts so I could see my chart. Remove. Set the alert on here. So we need Tesla to hold 240.85. On how to draw patterns, just find a cheat sheet. I have a cheat sheet in the Discord. And you could just look at that. Right here. This one's solid. The descriptions are wrong. Like this says Head and Shoulders, it's wrong. This says Head and Shoulders also, it's wrong. But all you really need to just look at is the patterns, right? I trade this one, I trade this one, I trade these, I trade these. So if you want to screenshot it, go ahead. But this is probably like one of the best ones I've seen, the clearest. I made one myself. I just got to redo it. So once I redo it, I will upload it again. Which ones do I trade again? Falling wedges and flags. Any wedge. All right, rising wedge, falling wedge, falling wedge. Those are the best setups in my opinion. A lot of people like Head and Shoulders. So I trade the same setup over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Right here is a wedge, pretty much. Right, this pattern here is pretty much a slightly different version of this. Right, stop loss below, entry around here. I just took an early entry, price target up above. Elon Musk tweeted earlier, him and Zucker are fighting. Live stream will be on Twitter and Meta. Everything in camera frame will be ancient Rome. That's crazy. Elon and Mark Zuckerberg are gonna fight. Also, I uploaded a video of how I use Webull in the resources section under education. So if you had any questions about how I use Webull and how I get into trades, I posted of how I exactly do that. So go take a look at that video. It's like a 2-minute video. My support and resistance lines are based off of support and resistance. Yes, I do, Beast. Just look at the description. I don't think Mark Zuckerberg would win. I know he's been training pretty heavy. You try with the yes, I always keep them off. You don't need pre-market and post-market data. So I'll be watching this at open SPY. That's probably my top setup here. If it can hold here, looks fine. You got it, Asmund. Again, guys, it is Friday. Fridays are not a day to be aggressive, right? It's going to be all 0 DTE. Do not make the mistake of messing up. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. Do not be profit first. I see it a million times. There's over 100 of you in here. Someone's going to make the mistake today of blowing their account up. And it sucks to say, but it's the reality. Do not be profit first. If you want to actually trade and be consistent and make money week over week, over month, then actually start to put these rules into place. If you don't, you're going to lose money every single month. Can't say it enough. Can't say it enough. AMD, you know, it's just too choppy. And it's just, I mean, you can potentially take puts at the breakdown here, but not for me. Not for me. I do like Apple though today. All time frames. I use all time frames. I constantly go back and forth. Which is what everyone should be doing. You shouldn't just be stuck on one time frame. You over traded yesterday. It happens, but can't be doing that. Right? You'll see I take 1 to 2 trades a day probably, unless there's multiple setups. You only should be trading if there's setups. Get that in your head. Like, you have to engrave that in your head, guys. If there's no setup, there's no trade. Everyone always, as a beginner, everyone's always going to just try and take every single trade. Right? You guys are going to take every single trade. You're going to be stressed about managing positions. I get it. I've done it before. But if you want to actually improve and start to make money and then eventually scale it to make 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month, which is extremely possible, then you have to be serious about, you know, getting your emotions in line. Have a plan in place and follow it. If you don't, good luck to you, and you'll be reporting to your boss at a 9 to 5. Entry for SPY put. SPY puts, I would consider if it breaks through 443.9. And if it continues to reject, even if it breaks down, you know, fine, but I want to see it reject that previous support, right? If it can reject 444.91, right? So something like this, right? We break down, we reclaim it, we consolidate, and then we break down again. That's what I would look for here. That's what I would look for there. But Apple looks decent, pretty weak here pre-market. Tesla's weak here pre-market. Nvidia's weak pre-market. So we'll see what happens. What questions do you guys got? Kind of covered everything already. Been going very quick recently. It is Friday, so I stream 9:30 to 10:30, first hour of market open, and then pretty much done for the day. Right? No one really wants to work on a Friday. Yeah, I did. 3 million to 25 bucks. Sounds about right. BABA, it's down 2.5% here. It's right back in the range. We wouldn't really touch it. The video just needs to continue to reject 419.38 and then puts look decent. Right, if it can reject that previous support as a new resistance, then fine. Favorite setup, SPY. Amazon looks fine, needs to hold here. I'm in calls, and Tesla I'm in calls, but needs to just hold. We're sitting right at support, so. How long did it take me to understand chart patterns? About 3 weeks. Takes about a month to learn the charts, guys. If you've put in effort every day and trying to learn the charts, it takes a month. I mean, obviously everyone's different. People learn at different speeds. Me, it took a month. But to learn how to trade and be consistent, it took about 2 to 3 years. So VIX also something to keep an eye on today. If it breaks above this chop zone here around 17.4 or so, we could see way more downside, but it's kind of like creating this higher low situation here. Yeah, motions is very, very difficult. We could even trade today on the 2 hour. Like, this looks clean. Be super easy to trade on the 2 hour today. All right, I guarantee half the people are going to be looking at like the 2 or 3 minute, and you're going to be stressed out. Don't make that mistake. Do not make that mistake. Don't need to be doing that. Unless you're scalping or unless you have experience doing it, right? You could, you know, it could work, but more than likely you're going to fail. We have data at 10. Yeah, let me check what data we have today. Thank you for the reminder, Derek. Let me pull up the data. So today is Friday. So yeah, we have some data in 40 minutes. But the most important was PPI at 8:30. How long did it take to find my favorite indicators to use? I don't use indicators. No indicators at all. This one I just use for trend, just for my eyes. That's really it. I don't use it. I don't actually use like EMAs. Everyone always falls back to an indicator because they can't figure out how to trade. So just don't make that mistake. Anyone that's selling an indicator, Lux Algo, all that it's all BS, guys. Come on. All BS. Don't fall for that stuff. What level for Tesla calls? I mean, I'm already in Tesla calls, but again, it needs to just hold here. If it doesn't hold, then I'm just going to cut. 240.85 needs to hold. Do I think we could see 134 on Amazon? We could, right? If it breaks 137.15, absolutely, I would cut. Guys, I don't know if you guys, like, a lot of people are like hoping for things to happen, and everyone thinks that you're going to win every single trade. You lose trades. If you can't handle a loss, you should not be trading. I lose about 30 out of 100 trades, right? So I win about 70, I lose about 30, sometimes 40, right? It fluctuates back and forth. Trades lose. Don't freak out over a loss. If you freak out over a loss, you're going to be back in your 9 to 5. I'm just going to start saying that more often and more aggressively to drill it in your guys' heads. If you can't handle a loss, you will not be trading. So in order to be able to handle a loss, you need to size correctly. If you're not sized correctly, you're going to blow up your account. I know there was someone in the Discord yesterday who put 100% of his portfolio in these two swings or something. He's done. He's not going to be able to trade anymore. Right? So while, you know, we're enjoying our day with, you know, even if we have a slight loss, it's fine. His account's blown. So, you know, learn from your mistakes. Don't make the mistakes again. If you start making, you know, mistakes over and over and over again, you know, trading isn't for you. Right? 95% of traders fail, and most people, and I would say 100% of people don't think they're part of that 95%. Yep. So with that being said, appreciate everyone stopping by, give you some little wisdom and insight and some hard truth and reality to the trading industry. But I'm going to go set up the Zoom and going to get ready for the market open. Appreciate everyone. If you could drop a like before you head out. Thank you very much.